All right, good morning. For me, anyway, I'm getting here early to shoot this video for the folks that are absent. We are going to chat today about comparing and ordering integers, lesson 3. It's in chapter 5, so should be in good shape here. Some are, I guess this would be Friday for some, and Monday for others. But anyway, hey, let's get rocking and rolling today. Not too bad, more of the same. If you were in class, I've been doing some enriching, adding and subtracting integers, and I'll probably go into multiplying integers. So that will be some fun as well. So anyway, I'm going to jump right to the guided practice, and it's going to be on page 366. Right there it is. We're going to talk here a little bit about this. We'll make sure I get the right homework pulled up for you here. All right, so let's get ready to rock and roll. All right, so the first thing we're going to start with is just talking about integers and understanding that when it's a positive number, the bigger the number, the greater it is. But when they're negative numbers, the bigger the number, the smaller it is. That means the smaller to the left on the number line it is. And that's the way you have to think when you're dealing with negative numbers. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a less than sign. This is a greater than sign. Of course, that's equal. Okay, so we just have to remember that. All right, try to get out of the alligator talk and get into less than, greater than, and equal. 17 is less than 31. Okay, -6 and -10. Remember, I just got done saying a second ago, the bigger the negative, the smaller it is. So -6 is actually greater than -10. And think of it this way. If I owed somebody $6 and I owed somebody else $10, all right, I owe $10 is a larger amount that I owe them. So I'm in greater debt. When you're in debt, it's a negative, all right? When you deposit, it's a positive. Okay. Let's move on to the third one. -83 is going to be less than -38. And again, they're trying to confuse you by flipping the numbers around, but the bigger the negative, the smaller it is. Okay. Andrew and his father are scuba diving at -38 feet. That would be 38 feet below sea level. And the Tackle Box Canyon has an elevation of -83 feet. So it's even deeper. Write an inequality to compare the depths. Okay. So when they want an inequality, we want to use a less than, a greater than, or an equal to sign. That's not a problem. So let's put it down. It doesn't really matter what we start with. I'll start with -83. -83 is going to be less than -38. That's the total depth below sea level Tackle Box Canyon is, right? Right now, the father is at -38, so he can go down, almost another 50 feet to the bottom, right? But he would have to be careful of the pressure and equalizing and so on. And that's something else that we could talk about. The daily low temperatures in Kate's hometown last week were: order the temperatures from greatest to least, biggest to smallest. So I'm going to start with the biggest number and I'm going to cross them off as I go. Here's a 2. I know the negatives are the smallest, so that's out. Here's a 3. So here's 3 degrees. Cross it off. Here's 2 degrees, cross it off. And then I'm down to 0 degrees, right? And 0 is neither positive nor negative, right? And then we're going to go, the next biggest number is actually -6, right? And then after -6 is -7 degrees, -9 degrees, and -18 degrees, right? And that's all in Celsius. We'll cross all of those off. Greatest to least. Okay. Okay. So again, the bigger the negative, the smaller it is. We could take the absolute value of these numbers and see which one's bigger. And let's just talk about that for a second here on this one. If I were to take the absolute value of this, it's 83. And if I were to take the absolute value of this, it's 38, right? So when we look at this, this has a bigger absolute value, so it's going to be less than. It's further away from 0 on the negative side. So when you have two negative numbers, you can compare their absolute values, right? So you have to think opposite a little bit there. Let's flip the page and get circled up here. For homework, we're going to go 1 to 11. Okay, and let's keep going. 10 and 11. Then we're going to jump to 14. All right. And then that's going to be 14 through 33. So go ahead and circle up through and including number 33. All right, and that's just really it can't be 33. There's only 30 problems. So I better fix that. How about up to number 30, right? So we have some reps and some tension here. Yep. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Let's do the first 5 together here, and then I'll let you get going here. Anyway, -2, -4. -2 is certainly. Ooh, whoa. Made a mistake there. Sorry. -2 is greater than. It's greater than -4. 1, -3. 1 is again greater than -3. -3 is further to the left on the number line. 5 and 0, we know that 5 is greater than 0, right? Amy is building a house. The basement floor is -15 feet. The roof of the house is above the ground 25 feet. Write an inequality to compare the heights and explain the meaning. Okay, well, -15 is below the ground. The ground would be 0. It is going to be less than 25. And the meaning is simple. -15 is 15 feet below the ground. The house is above 25 feet, so the top of the house goes to 25 feet. The total house height, if we were to add these together, all right, that would be 40 feet high, all right, and that's where the confusion will come in because 15 plus 25 is 40 feet high. The low temperature in Anchorage, Alaska, one day was -9. On the same day, the low temperature in Flagstaff, Arizona was 26 degrees. Write an inequality to compare the temperatures, no problem. 26 is going to be greater than -9, right? And again, when we compare them, this is above 0, this is below 0. The difference in these temperatures, if we were to add these two together, and when we talk about subtracting integers, I'll show you that, but it would be what? 35 degrees difference. Okay, and that's something that's hard to fathom there when we start talking about adding and subtracting integers. Okay, all right, you guys go ahead and rock and roll in the rest of this, and have a great day. Okay.